Science Peeps. This video is to assist you in creating your investigation plan for our Elements and Compounds investigation. As you watch this presentation, you will definitely want to pause and complete the part of your investigation plan as you go. Let's talk about the beginning of this investigation. On Monday, you guys completed an Explore simulation in which you made some observations of atoms and molecules and how they behave. Some of the big ideas behind this simulation is that all matter is made of atoms, and matter can exist in three different phases: solid, liquid, and gas. But regardless of the phase of matter, the composition or what the atoms are made of don't change. On Tuesday, we did some background reading in which we pulled some more big science concepts that are going to help us through this investigation. We reminded each other that all matter is made of atoms. They're the building blocks of matter, and that scientists use the composition of matter to classify it as pure substances or mixtures, and then we further classify pure substances as elements or compounds. So today you're going to write your investigation plan to basically describe what you're going to collect in this investigation and how you're going to do it. So before you can collect data to answer the guiding question, you must design an investigation plan. You access this investigation plan by going into Canvas, clicking on your assignment for today. It's a Google document that's going to open into your Drive, and that will be a copy that you can edit. First, let's talk about your task in this investigation. Your task is to use what you know about classifying matter to design and carry out an investigation to determine the specific criteria. Remember, criteria is characteristics that are special to each one that classifies a substance as an element or a compound. So that's a lot of words to basically say you're trying to figure out the characteristics of an element and the characteristics of a compound. The materials that you can use during this investigation are element models or images if you're doing it virtually, element examples or images, compound models, compound examples, or images of those if you're doing this lab virtually. You also might find the periodic table of elements helpful to you during this investigation. The pictures at the bottom of the screen give you an example of some of the models that you will be using during this investigation. The first thing you need to know on your investigation plan is the guiding question. This is the question you will need to be able to answer by the end of the investigation. You're going to copy this exactly from your background reading, or pause this video and you can copy it directly from here into your investigation plan. Next, we will need to know what data are you going to collect. So in order to answer the guiding question, which is what criteria classifies a substance as an element or a compound, what data will you need to collect? I'm going to skip over to an example investigation plan, and I came up with a guiding question. What time of day is best for catching trout in Lake Conroe? So my guiding question, the question that I'm trying to answer is, what time of day is best for catching trout in Lake Conroe? How am I going to measure that? How am I going to be able to answer that? Well, in order to be able to tell you what time of day is best, I'm going to need to know when I catch the most fish. So the number of fish that I catch is going to be the data that I collect. Number of fish caught. That's how I'm going to measure and answer that question. So you'll need to think about, in our investigation, if I'm trying to determine what characteristics classify a substance as an element or a compound, what do I need to know in order to answer that question? After you've determined what data you will collect, you're going to tell me how you will collect data. These are the steps that you will take and the materials that you will use to collect data. It's kind of like a recipe. So once you've figured out what you're cooking for dinner, you're going to pull all of your kitchen tools out and the ingredients that you need, and then you're going to read the recipe. So this is kind of like your recipe. Your procedure for your investigation plan doesn't have to be super specific. I just need an idea of what you're going to use and how you're going to use it. So one, I'm going to find a fishing spot. And I'm going to use the same fishing pole and lures to cast into Lake Conroe. Fishermen, do not judge my fishing knowledge. After that, after I've cast into Lake Conroe, I'm going to fish for 1 hour. I'm going to repeat these steps at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. So you see, I've written some steps. They're not super specific, but someone can read and say, okay, she's using a fishing pole and lures, and she's going to fish for 1 hour, and she's going to repeat that 4 different times throughout the day. And while she's completing those steps, she's going to measure or count the number of fish caught at each one of those times in order to determine what time of day is best for catching fish in Lake Conroe. After you've written the steps and included the materials that you will use to collect your data, you are ready to submit your investigation plan. So make sure that you go back to Canvas and click on the blue Submit button in order to turn in your investigation plan. As you're working through your investigation plan today, if you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher so that we can assist you. We're available all day long by email to guide you through this process. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on our Zoom.